I've worked more than 10 jobs since I was 15, and I just have never felt like I would be happy doing one thing for the rest of my life. And more recently, I decided to quit my full-time job. My last day is on Thursday, and I have no idea what I'm going to do next. But all I know is that I've pretty much only had one job in my life, or two jobs that I really enjoyed, and that was working at a yoga studio and teaching sailing. And so I guess I just realized that I was trying to fit into these spaces that clearly weren't conducive to my growth. They just weren't spaces that felt authentic to me. And I think I was trying to force something because, I wanted to feel like I'm being productive, like I'm a productive member of society, like I'm doing what I should be doing or whatever. And so it just became very disorienting because the way that I was feeling inside and the creative part of me, the part of me that just wanted to be expressed, felt so neglected at the job that I was working at and like many jobs that I've worked over the years. And I feel like this was really just the last straw with all of my experiences combined of like, I can't work a job that doesn't allow me to be creative. And not only that, but if I am doing something that requires creativity, I do want it to contribute to my own growth. I want it to contribute to my own future. And I think that what's very hard for me to accept is that like we live in a world where it's so normalized to work so hard for other people, to build other people up, you know, provide for their companies and just be paid like such a small amount of money compared to like what you're actually providing. It's very just, I guess it's demoralizing, right? Because you you almost just have to like surrender and be like, okay, yeah, I'm not worth anything more than this amount. And I think honestly, I was I kind of like didn't want to accept that, and that was partly one of the reasons why I decided to kind of look into other streams of income and just look into other things that I could explore to make money, because for me it was like it's not worth being miserable, and like having that stability, the financial stability is just not worth sacrificing my passion for life and like my creativity and like my spark. And I felt like I was losing that slowly over time, and it was very subtle. It's not like all at once I just like fell into a depression, but it was very subtle over time. And I think that as I've continued to do spiritual practices, it's really helped me to like not fall into that pattern of like becoming numb to life and accepting the circumstances around me, because it really is very demoralizing to work a job where you don't feel like you fit in, where you feel like you might be pulling a lot of weight, or I guess it just feels like it doesn't represent who you are. And I know that it's not that simple, but for me, what I realized is like I would rather just work a job that makes me happy, allows me to feel seen by the people around me, and like have an authentic connection with beautiful people who love me and who I feel inspired by, than just like have a job where I feel like I'm just like a robot, you know what I mean? And I think it's the humanity of it, I guess. It's craving always just this humanity that seems to be so rare in our world. And yeah, so I guess that's why I really appreciate this channel and YouTube and you for watching and engaging with my content. Is like, it's very special to feel like you have a community of people, even if we aren't all together, like hanging out. It is very special and sacred to feel like you have people who see you and who hear you. And I think that that's truly all that I desire in this life. And it's hard for me sometimes to accept that love and to accept that, just, it's hard. Like, it's hard because for me to accept that love and receive it openly, I have to give that to myself. I have to really accept who I am and get past the ego and the ego's like impulses of like just making me feel like crap and making me feel like I'm not good enough. And it's like, I know that's not how I feel about myself, but it's just a constant battle, and it's a constant just shedding and growing and evolving. And I guess it can be pretty lonely. I don't know why I'm so emotional right now, but it can be pretty lonely because in those times I don't want to hurt anyone around me. And so I feel like the right thing to do is to just take time for myself and kind of look inward and like just allow the shadows to exist and allow the demons to exist and like not fight with them so much. But that's hard, it's hard, and I'm learning. And I think that's what life is. It's just a constant learning experience and feeling experience. And I think that's really all it is. And I think it's so easy in like the hard times to forget the good and to feel demoralized or discouraged. But I just want you to remember that like there are so many people out there who are going to love you, and I don't want you to forget that, because it's easy to forget when the darkness feels so heavy. But please just remember that you haven't even met all of the people who will love you for who you are and for who you grow into and who you become. And that is such a special thing. And don't run from yourself. Just let yourself be, let yourself exist, because that's all you have to do.